Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Residents of Evil podcast, episode 25. Today, I am joined by ROE Team members Tony.
Hello, all.
AJ.
Ayo.
And unfortunately, Ali is not here with us tonight. He is here with us in spirit. He's not dead. He's just got some things going on, so he'll be back soon. But to everybody stopping in, thank you guys very much. We are doing this podcast live, so feel free to chat about your thoughts on what we're talking about. If you guys do have questions or you do super chats with questions, we're going to save those for the end of the show. So we're not ignoring you. We just don't want to interrupt the conversation. So definitely send them through, and we'll go through at the end of the show and get to all those. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this episode. We got a lot to talk about. Gamescom 2018 is currently underway. Actually, it's going to be wrapping up here pretty soon. But Capcom was there with Devil May Cry 5 and Resident Evil 2 Remake. And we knew that we were going to be getting some new information. We just weren't sure what. People thought it was going to be a clear trailer, demo, announcement of a demo, and we actually got almost all of it. Yeah, there was a lot of really cool things. So let's jump right into Gamescom. And let's discuss sort of what came out in order and give our thoughts on that. Starting with the photos that came out, I believe, they came out Monday. We got a wide selection of new photos from Claire this time around. So we got a lot of new stuff here. We got photos of Sherry. We got photos of Claire. And then the two biggest reveals we got were William Birkin, which I never in a million years would have thought that we were going to be getting photos of him. I thought that was going to be a surprise, which he looked absolutely fantastic. And we got the reveal of Chief Brian Irons. So with that being said, and a lot of new environments and everything else, what did you guys think of the new photos? What kind of stuck out to you guys? What were some highlights of the photos? But we'll start with you, Tony. Like, what did you think? Which one stood out to you?
I wish I was German. Jesus. Because everybody over there getting all the good stuff. No, so pretty much how, like I was actually the one who found all that stuff because, being an insomniac at 5 o'clock in the morning, that was perfect, perfect timing. But all that stuff just friggin' blew me away. Like, there was not one thing I liked more than the other. It's just seeing all that, all the different environments, and the official picture for like a render of Claire with the grenade launcher with Sherry by her side and everything. And some people not liking the new outfit for Sherry and everything, but I actually like it because it's more like prep school looking than her sailor uniform. I know like those uniforms are like more Japanese, like if I remember correctly, but this one that is in the remake is pretty prep school like private schools and all that stuff. So
I agree.
From the pictures I saw, it blew my mind. And usually pictures get me amped, but not on the level that this did. Usually it's the trailer that gets me fully amped, but holy crap.
Well, they just gave us so much more than I was expecting they were going to give us.
Right? And that wasn't a leak or anything. Capcom Unity posted that. So
oh, okay.
That was the crazy thing.
It's like we all know William Birkin's going to be in it, but just I guess to see it this early, what I thought we were going to get is maybe a demo or a trailer of Claire, but early on, before she gets the RPD, I didn't know it was going to be, midway through the game when she's actually meeting up with Sherry. So I was basically the same as you. Like, I was blown away by seeing these, and it just got me super pumped, and especially because I've been like wondering how awesome is Willie B gonna look, and I was not I was pleasantly surprised. Anything else, Tony, that you noticed here from the photos that you wanted to go over?
Well, I noticed a couple other things, but I'll let AJ talk about those. But other than that, like just some of the areas that AJ is gonna talk about and stuff, it all, even at 5 in the morning, my brain just had like flashbacks to these things, and I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be good. So AJ, why don't you tell them about the areas and the things you liked and saw?
All right, so the first one that stood out to me was that new location where Claire is looking down the door with a flashlight.
Yes.
In the RPD, that's completely new. It reminded me of the double doors from Remake for Lisa Trevor.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Actually, yeah, that part right there was somebody had mentioned that when you plug in the 3 medallions on the statue, it raises up to the underground, and that seems to be what that is. So that's actually under the fountain statue there in the main hall.
Which is kind of weird because it looks like a door.
Yeah, it does look like a door. I thought that was a little weird too. It might not be, but it just, when you look at placement of it and you look at where that statue is and what's behind it, it kind of lines up. And it is a basement down there, so maybe it like opens way up in its actual like door, instead of, like in Outbreak, how when it comes up and it's just like a little crawl space. Maybe it's going to be like an entire door that you can then go down into the basement. That's what I thought about it. And then that's when I thought too, that's actually where you go to meet Sherry, is down those stairs, because that makes sense that you're in that basement area and then you go into like the, more industrial boiler room type area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the second one that stood out to me from the Birkin screenshot is it kind of looks like the warehouse area from 1.5 where you fight them.
Yeah.
And then also with the defense item thrown in, I don't know, to me it looks like Claire is getting more of the 1.5 leftovers, which is great by me.
Which is weird because they said they actually weren't using inspiration from 1.5, but between the concept sketches for Resident Evil 2 making their way into this and the environments that look similar to 1.5, and now the defensive items, grenades were in 1.5, it looks like it's getting a lot more 1.5 than they're saying.
It's probably that way because they didn't want, they didn't want to say, oh yeah, we're doing it to leave no surprise. They want to surprise us on the initial avail. Because if they tell you right off the bat but don't have it available, you're already gonna be like, oh well, we already knew this was gonna happen. So
yeah,
it's not that exciting. But this way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, they kind of reveal it a little at a time. So you like the defensive items and the environments. You like that 1.5 feel. What else did you like about these screens?
Well, the grenade launcher and that screen of Sherry and Claire together in the, with the grenade launcher. Like the facial animations, they look so good. Sherry looks so real.
Oh, the graphics in these photos, and we'll get into it a little bit in the demo, is phenomenal. Like these look so high quality.
They really do.
One thing we did talk about with these photos is we actually got a really close look at Claire. This is before the demo came out and actually showed us, the character's emotion. But we got the full outfit. We have her whole new outfit. She looks, I would say, a much more realistic take. Now, if you prefer this new outfit or the old outfit, I'm not getting into that. It's just we got the whole look. She does have the red leather jacket with the symbol on the back. She has full pants now, and it looks like she's got a backwards fanny pack, which is super badass and convenient. I don't know if you guys have fanny packs, but she's got that.
This is in the 90s. I don't have a fanny pack anymore.
Actually, now that you say that, this takes place in 98, so back then fanny packs were acceptable. So that's why...
This is true. And oddly enough, they're making... a little off topic, but I've seen it, and they're making a comeback, and it scares me.
Really?
Yeah, next you're gonna see The Rock wearing it again.
Well, if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wears a fanny pack, then they're probably gonna be popular again. but I mean, Claire rocks it really well in this, and we got a whole look now at her appearance, and I think she looks fantastic. And we'll get into her voice here when we get into the demo, but then we got Sherry, which I also agree. I do like the new outfit better. Much more like a schoolgirl. That's kind of what they wear, those uniforms. And then it's very dark and ominous. And then we get we get a shot of very industrial. There's just pipes upon pipes, and it looks like a maze. It looks insane. Like the detail is incredible, and it just looks like something you would see out of a Freddy Krueger nightmare or something like that. Like it's pretty insane. And then the close-up shots of William Birkin, the amount of detail that's actually in his mutation forming into G is just insane. The eye is there. The iconic eye he's got. And then we got Chief Irons, which he looks much older in this version than he did in the original Resident Evil 2, which somebody said he's much fatter too. So we got a much fatter and older Chief Irons.
Doesn't matter how fat he's got. Everyone's gonna die.
Yes, exactly. What was that? So everybody's saying he looks just like, what's his name? The diabetes guy?
Wilford Brimley.
Wilford Brimley, yes. So I'm glad they're bringing Wilford Brimley on to be the a model for Chief Irons, because when you compare their pictures, it's actually shocking how close they look to each other. So he's probably hasn't checked his blood sugar, and he's probably a little loopy right now.
Kendo said everyone's gonna eat.
That's pretty good. But yeah, these photos also give us, they show us another cool new feature. When you carry your items, they actually appear on your character. So she has her M79 grenade launcher strapped to her back. She's got her pistol. I believe I read something too saying that she's going to have 2 firearms, and yeah, we kind of get a little bit of a look at that. And there's one more thing I wanted to bring up here. Oh, the parking lot in which you meet Irons. So it's going to be a little bit different, the story from Resident Evil 2, the original, because now it looks like you meet with Irons in the parking lot. And that parking lot looks very similar to the parking lot you meet Ada in Resident Evil 2 as Leon. So it's cool to see a familiar area return. Oh, and another thing too is the destructive power of the grenade launcher. We didn't bring that up, but that thing, oh my god! Like, when you see it in motion, it's kind of mind blowing how not like good it looks. But in this photo, it's just like there's just a fireball, which we have learned that person that's burning is actually William Birkin. But that the graphics and detail and particles in that explosion are just wow. Like this is
so freaking good.
It's so badass. It's such a good looking game. But yeah, that was a very pleasant surprise. These photos, a really close look at Claire and some new reveals, and just the detail is insane. So. Very pleased with these photos, and it was a really good way to kind of get us amped up for what was to come. Is there anything else you guys want to say on these photos before we move on to the next subject?
Not really. We only got a couple, so.
Yeah, we didn't get a whole ton, but okay, so we'll move on now. We were told that there will be a Resident Evil 2 remake demo, a Claire demo available, and then everybody was excited, and then we were very upset when we learned that it was only for the media. Okay, so instead of us getting to see it, it was actually going to be behind closed doors. So at that point, I was just like, oh, that sucks. I was really looking forward to it, but I guess we're going to have to wait a little longer until I was live streaming Resident Evil 2 with my cousin, and Tony texted me, and he's like, dude, you got to check this out. And sure enough, we got a leaked trailer or a leaked demo for Claire Redfield. That was not supposed to come out. That was actually, like I said, that was leaked. There were some things before we get into the details on it. I just want to clarify there was no music in it. That actually was supposed to be music there, but it was cut for that demo for some reason. There's no reticule. That was turned off because that was a media version, and it was cut improperly, leaving out some of the details. So there's some more things that are actually supposed to be in that, but we take what we can get. We weren't supposed to get that, and we got it. So I watched it. We watched it on the stream, and damn, like there's a lot to get into here. So before, when we talked about the photos, we kind of gave our thoughts on the looks of everything. So now the demo, let's get into the gameplay, guys. So starting off, we get Claire looking for Sherry, and then she says, do you need help? And then basically Sherry just sick burns her with, no, you. And that's when we get Willie B popping out. But what do you guys think about the demo? Just your overall thoughts now before we actually get into digging it apart.
Well, I am actually really positive about it. The animations could use a little bit more polish, but I understand it's a tech demo basically for the press, so.
Yeah.
But I still want to point out that Claire's hair looks like it's a towel moving about.
Here he goes, ladies and gentlemen.
I wouldn't really care, but when you spend so much time with over the shoulder and you're constantly zooming in and out on the character's back, then your eyes is going to be fixated on that animation. So it's kind of iffy for me there. And the other thing I didn't like was some of the animations for when she's like running and stuff in the combat.
Yeah.
It looks a little kind of floaty.
Okay.
It looks like there needs to be a little bit more weight.
Yeah. I kind of get what you're saying there.
That, I thought the lighting with the fighting was perfect. Okay. I thought, Sherry looked great. Claire looks great. I'm actually really enjoying the voice acting so far.
Yeah, we finally got to hear Claire.
Yep. It was a little bit, but it was there.
Again, I'm one of those that really prefer Allison Court. I was one of those that want her to return. I don't know. I haven't played the game, so I don't know if it's going to be as good as Allison. But I'd have to agree with you. It was good, and I didn't mind it at all. Her voice wasn't annoying, or it didn't have any aspects to it that I didn't think was going to bother me.
At first I thought I actually pinpointed who it was who's playing her, but then I'm thinking to myself, you know what? This actually sounds like a younger version of Revelations 2 Claire. So I'm wondering if they actually brought her back.
You think? Okay, because they've announced the models, but they haven't announced the voice actors yet.
Yeah, because if you listen very closely, because I was playing Revelations 2 when this actually all came out,
Yeah,
and the voices sound very similar to me.
that's very interesting that you say that. I'll have to go back and listen to it. But yeah, overall, you were pretty positive about it. You found some flaws. Like, that's the thing is, like, if you bring up a flaw, it's not that you don't like it. It's just that, it's not all perfect, but overall, you did
Exactly.
enjoy it.
I want to see it get ironed out.
Yeah,
Is all I'm saying.
you just see a couple little flaws, but that's good that you could kind of pick up on some of the good and some of the bad. Tony, what did you think about this overall before we dig into it and kind of break it down?
I think someone's getting fired for leaking that.
Oh, that's exactly what I said too. It's like, oh, somebody's getting fired. That wasn't supposed to go on. And it's like, why would you let the unpolished version of that demo come out? Because the music was cut. There's supposed to be more William Birkin. Like, that was all cut. And it's like, why, if you're gonna leak it, leak the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, because it literally cut right to her and Sherry into the parking lot. But no, I mean, I liked what I saw. I like the fact that Claire is pretty much using Hunk's gun. Nobody has mentioned that at all. If any of you played Resident Evil 4, Hunk's only weapon is the TMP, and that's exactly what she's using.
Oh yeah. We'll get into that. That thing wrecked shop. They had that. Yeah. They had that in Resident Evil 2, the original Resident Evil 2, also.
Well, you mean 1.5?
No. They had that in 2. It had a weird
suppressor. That was different. Yeah. I don't think that was a suppressor.
Yeah, what was that? Like, it was an extended barrel on it. No, it wasn't a suppressor. What was it? What do you want to add, AJ?
Birkin now says Sherry 1.5.
Exactly. Oh. The only other time he said that was in Darkside Chronicles.
Yep.
There was actually, I noticed in this, and well, I'll just get to it now. His sound effects in this demo, there was sounds from the original Resident Evil 2 that they modified, because there was a few times where I heard it and I was like, that's exactly like 2. And then they added some more, some more effects on it. But I think they used actual sounds from it.
JJ, it actually kind of makes me laugh, because if you fight Neil in Revelations 2, when he's transforming his weird voice, like they edited it, it sounds exactly like Neil.
Oh, really? So maybe they took some elements from other games too.
I'm wondering. It sounded exactly like it.
There was one in particular, but yeah, you guys will have to go back after the podcast and listen to it, and then just compare it with Birkin from the original 2, and see if you hear that one time. But where else were you going with that, Tony?
Just the overall demo just really looked great. Like, I like the fact that there's it looks like there's throwbacks to other games. I think Claire and Sherry look fantastic in their thing. I think Birkin's overall design. If any of you have ever played Metal Gear Rising, Birkin's arm and the way it's colored kind of reminds me of Senator Armstrong's nanomachine sun arm thing, because he hardens from the nanomachines, because he's all his skin becomes a black color and everything. So
yeah.
But no, I liked how he looked. I think he animated very well. I like the fact that he's just purely a berserker in this. He's not kind of just this lunging, walking thing. There's actual great animation to him.
A lot of rage. A lot of rage.
A lot of rage. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, between that and the dropping of the defense grenade, and it's just it's brutal, and the area actually gets destroyed by him too. That's something that's interesting too, is where you see the area being affected by him rampaging. So
yeah, that's a very good point. He's a force.
Oh, that's another thing to bring up too. His pipe actually bends every time he hits the ground with it.
So it's like he's playing Outbreak.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they had that in 1.5, where if he hit you, the pipe would actually bend.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of interesting to see be brought back.
So if he just keeps hitting stuff and you just keep running away from him, is it going to get all mangled until he just throws it?
Well, I'm assuming it has a cutoff point for how far it'll bend, but yeah, it does bend in the demo.
Okay, that's good, because I say, how bent up can it be before he can't even use it anymore? But then that would be interesting to see what his secondary attack would be. Besides just swinging the pipe. Okay, so you guys both
backhands you.
Yeah, you guys both really enjoyed it. I think AJ, you had a few more things that you didn't like over Tony. Tony, you seemed to like everything about it.
There wasn't much that I didn't like. So.
I would have to say overall, I really enjoyed this. I was just shocked that we got this, because, like I said previously, I thought we were going to seeing Claire up to the RPD. I didn't know they were going to jump this far into it. So seeing William Birkin and then getting to see him in motion was just I fanboyed hard. And overall, the graphics were phenomenal. I did notice a little bit, AJ, like you said, that feels a little light at some points. I noticed that with William Birkin, that and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, and I'm not saying I don't like Resident Evil 7. I've said this many times. I like Resident Evil 7, but I noticed that a lot of his mutations and the way that he bubbles up is very similar to Jack in Resident Evil 7, where he becomes that big form, and he has all the eyes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think overall he looks fantastic, but he does have that little bit of that weird bubbly effect to it. And then once he starts swinging, yes, it's just chaos. That's fantastic. It looks like you got to actually shoot for his eye. So I had given my thoughts previously on it, and I said, well, I hope it's not too obvious. Just shoot the glowing eye. Like that would kind of bother me. But then somebody had mentioned, like now with this over-the-shoulder camera, how would you expect to fight him? And I was like, okay, I guess yeah, it makes sense. You would shoot the eye because that's his, it looks like his weak spot. But overall, I thought it was fantastic. I thought we got to see more than I expected we were going to, and I'm glad we got to see the destruction of the grenade launcher. And I think, honestly, seeing Chief Irons at the end was just a cherry on top, because just that short little clip of what he said and what he did just really shows the player that he's a loose cannon, and like at any moment, I felt for Claire in that situation where he just kind of like said, get on the ground, and he shot right next to her head. I was like, well, she doesn't know what to say or do right now. Like, this guy seems like he wants to fucking shoot her. And I was just like, God, I'm so happy that was probably, like, honestly, I love seeing Birkin, but I want to say that seeing Irons just be mental is probably my favorite part about it. But with that being said, we all were very positive about it.
Well, before we move on, there is actually something else I need to bring up too. In 1.5, when you damage Birkin, he would grow larger.
Oh, and
that's actually in this too.
Yeah, when she was shooting him, his face was mutating. It was getting like crusted over. He looked more like a demon. Later as the demo progressed. So they added a lot of really cool things. They didn't really add anything to ruin it. They just added everything to enhance it, and that was a lot of really good attention to detail. So now with our overall thoughts on the demo, let's kind of get into it a little bit here, and I'm going to kind of go through it while we discuss, and we'll see if we can point anything out. But right away, the animations for the characters talking, it looks really good. Doesn't take me out of it all. Their mouth movements, graphics are all top notch. Seeing William with his big eye coming up behind her as she pulls her pistol, you're just kind of like, wow. If I was Claire, I would be like shitting my pants right now. Yeah. Then we basically get him swinging his pipe, and she's just kind of shooting at him, while he's just kind of yelling and swinging freely. And then it's basically basic right now. He's just kind of shooting and chasing her through this labyrinth of pipes and valves. And then he's mutating as he's fighting. So the more she hurts him, that's when you start getting that bubbly effect where everything starts bubbling up. And I guess whenever that happens, he must be mutating a little bit. So the amount of detail is you're probably really going to see it here. But okay, then we get her first defense item. She throws a grenade. Okay, that completely adds a new aspect to this game and a new way to play. I don't know if that was just a defense item or if you can actually throw grenades, and she just selected one and dropped it. But that got William off of her. But yeah, what do you guys think about these grenades being added?
I like it. It's very what do you call it there? It's very reminiscent to how Resident Evil Remake was done, the original remake, when they added the defense daggers, the battery or the taser, and the grenades that Chris had.
Yeah,
and that was like a very interesting thing because it actually made the game like kind of like a new challenge to the game in many ways.
Yeah, I agree. It added a new way to play. It changed things up. It didn't ruin the experience, but it just kind of added a new way to play.
Yeah, no, I really did enjoy that little addition to it. I think that's something that the game needs. Maybe it's a little different. Maybe Claire doesn't have a knife. Maybe she uses daggers or something like that.
Yeah.
Something cool. Oh no, not daggers, the grenades.
Yeah.
And Leon gets the knife, and we also have been told that the knife does break. So that's really interesting, in my opinion. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes.
You'll find knives throughout the RPD, and you can keep using them. But I don't know. I don't know about the breaking. You're probably right there, but I do know that they'll get stuck in enemies, and what you need to do is kill the enemy to get your knife back, and then you can continue using it.
No, it's been confirmed that the knife will break.
Oh, they do break. So you're just gonna have to keep getting new ones throughout the game. Okay. That's cool.
I like that.
What do you think about grenades, AJ?
Well, I don't think they're going to be throwable. I think that would counteract the balance of the game too much.
I agree.
I do think they will be just defense items, kind of like Chris's grenades that he had in Remake.
Oh, you put them in the mouth and they'd blow the head off? Yeah.
Yeah, except, instead of doing that, she just throws them on the ground. It's going to be like, I don't want to
Maybe
call them a grenade yet. It might just be a flash grenade.
Oh, stun. Yeah, it could definitely be a stun. Because I was actually just gonna say, how could she drop a grenade next to her feet and it would affect him but not her? That has to be a stun
Yeah,
grenade.
so I'm thinking it has to be either a stun grenade or flash grenade, something like that. But I am really happy they brought the defense items back, especially if the enemies are going to be bigger and bigger and bigger as you keep progressing.
Yeah, definitely. And that actually, if it is a stun grenade, that makes a lot more sense that you would just drop it instead of having the option to throw it. It would probably be just a drop weapon. But then we move on past that part, and then here's where we get the some people say it's a Mac 11. Would you guys say it was from Revelations? What was the TMP or from Resident Evil 4? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that thing just wrecks William. It's cool to see some different weapons because we have seen her pistol, we've seen Leon's shotgun, we've seen her M79, and we finally get to see this come back. And that's one thing I've said previously that I've always loved about the classic Resident Evil games, especially 2, is just the variety of weapons. Gatling gun being my favorite, but you have guns like the spark shot, the flamethrower, the grenade launcher, the rocket launcher, and as a young kid, I was just like, that's how I became obsessed with like weapons. I was like, oh, there's so many cool items you can use in this game, and you can kind of mess up these zombies in all different ways. I'd love to see the Gatling gun return, but it's cool to see a little bit more of a wider variety of weapons here. And I don't actually recall seeing this TMP on her. While I see her pistol and I see the M79, but I don't see the TMP. So I wonder if I just missed it. But then here we kind of get to.
Says it's not a TMP. It's the same SMG from 2 with no barrel extension.
That's what I said earlier. See, I was right without that extension on it. Yeah. But then we do get to see how William Birkin's eye is glowing. So I don't know what you guys think, but I'm not a big fan of the obvious where to shoot the weak spots. And there is a moment in this trailer where Claire says, "What do I do?" And it's like, I kind of don't want to make it too easy and obvious. Like I would, it's just a little complaint, but not a big deal. What do you guys think about having the eye kind of just glow so you know where to?
Well, I'm going to say about the talking points, like, I actually thought that was more immersive that way because it actually felt like she was in danger and she's like, okay, what the hell do I have to do? How do I get through this? You would be talking to yourself too.
Yeah, no, that's true. So it's nice to have the talking points. And
with the glowing eye,
yeah,
I don't really think we could avoid that because either way, people are going to shoot for that eye either way.
Yeah.
But no, I kind of like the glowy effect on it.
Yeah, okay, so that it doesn't really ruin anything. You think that it just kind of makes it a little easier, or it doesn't make it easier or worse. It doesn't.
Yeah,
matter.
I would be more pissed if we had markers pointing to the eye.
No, yeah, that would piss me off too. What do you think about, Tony? What do you think about sort of like the fights with with William and kind of shooting the eye and having Claire kind of give you hints when you're not doing something right?
Look, all I want is freaking laser beams, my freaking BOWs, okay? How hard is it to get freaking laser beams here? I know I've been out of the loop and all, but it shouldn't be that hard or difficult to do. There shouldn't be this much red tape. No, Dr. Evil jokes aside and everything, no. I like it because I look at it as adding to the atmosphere.
Okay.
You're in like these darkly lit factory area and stuff, and then like there's just this glowing eye following you in the darkness. And I like, because one of the things I always loved about Resident Evil was the atmosphere. People talk about being scared because of like all the creatures around you and stuff, but even in certain areas, like where you think you're safe, like even in a save room, you kind of, even the music from the save room or the lighting that you're in there and stuff, it makes you feel safe, but it also doesn't fully let you relax because you realize there's shit that's outside that's going to come and get you.
Yeah.
And I feel that with this and how they did William Birkin and with the glowing eye and stuff, minus the freaking laser beams, it's really a good thing for their atmosphere, because when we saw Leon's trailer, everything and all the pictures that came with it, the atmosphere is what people actually began noticing. So where they did it with this, I think it's done perfect. I think it's great.
Yeah. No, you make a lot of good points there. Just seeing the eye staring at you in the darkness, and it all kind of works. I agree. So I guess it's not as big of a deal as I thought it was previously. You guys had some good points on that. Okay, so then now moving on to the big moment where she pulls the M79 out and shoots, and you got the fire explosion. But the detail here in this explosion is crazy, because not only do we get a shockwave, But we get William burning, so the enemies will burn with the flammable rounds, and the fire looks crazy, like how realistic it looks. It just lights up the whole environment and just makes the game look even more gorgeous than it already does. Yeah, so the destructive power of the grenade launcher is top notch. And then now we see William just kind of having a little spaz moment, a little anger fit. He's throwing a tantrum. He's hitting shit, and now he's going to grab her. When he grabs her, too, like, you can see how big his arm is. Like, it's massive. Like, he looks like he could just kill her instantly. And in this trailer, it actually seems like, or not this trailer, but this demo, it actually seems like he does kill her, because then it just cuts to black. Like, he's coming after her. He's all crispy from burning, so his skin's all, like, burnt. His face is all burnt, and then he slams her head down to the ground, and it cuts. And now she's going up into the parking lot.
That's actually a good point to bring up the death animations. I'm hoping they do not censor them, and I'm hoping they are just as brutal as the original.
Oh. Well, they did say that this game is going to be fully uncensored, so...
Isn't there a Z version that's only going to be in Japan that has a lot more gore, and it's a lot more violent?
Yeah, it's basically going to be our version, basically, uncensored.
Oh, okay, so we're getting that version. That's nothing different than what we're getting?
Well, yeah, because what happens is in Japan, like, things have changed over the years. So they're like, their level of violence and what they accept in things has been censored a lot lately. Like, even in like anime and certain things, like things you would have seen in like older animes or older video games that were okay, are completely not okay anymore. I mean, full frontal nudity and all that crap is fine in Japan, but that's because they look at it as nudity as a sign of purity to them. So that they don't perceive to look at nudity like America does. With a lot of things, and when it comes to their violence, they actually do censor a lot of their games and their content on their TV these days.
Well, that's cool. Then they're getting an uncensored version. I think that's awesome.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, like honestly, even if they didn't get it, they could have just easily got it anyway. Like they could have imported an American version from somewhere from cheap or something. You know?
I believe Germany. It was just announced that Germany's getting the regular version too. Like they're not getting anything censored, and normally they're pretty hard on that. Yeah, that's really big.
My big thing is Australia going to get the uncensored version, because I know they get a lot of cut stuff over there.
It'll probably just get banned.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that did. They do.
Yeah, Blue Blood. That'll be cool. It'll be fun to check out that Blue Blood version in Australia.
Actually, that would be pretty cool to see them bring back the blood selector from RE2 and Nintendo 64.
The N64. I love that. I always chose the Blue Blood because that looked like the coolest shit.
Yeah, like so different than what you're used to seeing. But yeah, that actually could be why this trailer cut. Like a lot of people have said, like the person playing it didn't seem very good. And I'm not one to nitpick. You know, who knows if they're just kind of picking it up for a video real quick or if they're actually playing it. But maybe they got wrecked there and they got killed and they didn't want to show the death animation. I know they weren't supposed to release this, but maybe there was like a really big no on showing off the death the death animations, because it looks like now this part coming up takes place after that battle. So she looks like she won, and she's coming up. Sort of like the picture. I don't know if you guys remember from the original Resident Evil 2 demo with Leon. When Marvin has that notepad, it shows the little hidden room under the statue. And then it goes down to the parking lot, and then there's like it goes under the parking lot, and then there's a valve or like a ladder that goes up into the parking lot. So I think that's what's going on here. She went down there, found Sherry, because they did say that you're gonna meet Sherry in the basement, and then you battle William, and then you guys found your way up into the parking lot. So I think this is all one cohesive sort of trip through the story.
Yeah.
You know what? That would actually be kind of interesting, because in 1.5, the parking lot actually had a manhole as well that you went down to get to the sewers.
Oh, there you, because that's exactly what it was.
That was in the dog kennel. That was in the dog kennel.
Yeah, in Resident Evil 2, it was in the dog kennel.
2, they had the dog kennel, but in Resident Evil 1.5, it was actually in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah, 1.5, sorry.
Yeah. Very interesting. I remember what that looked like from 1.5 too, and that was like just kind of one big square, whereas Resident Evil 2 kind of had an L shape. And this one here looks like a big square too, so that would be pretty cool. I'm gonna have to go back and dig. Any of you fans out there that like to get really into the lore and looking through all this stuff, check and see if this one's more like the 1.5 one. But yeah, now she's coming up through the manhole cover into the parking lot, which is cool because it does look similar to the one from 2. We got the cop car kind of sitting out there. Sherry runs ahead, so you actually get to kind of see how Sherry reacts to the environment. I would have to say that right now, the level of detail in the characters is excellent, and the way their voices are, I think I like both of their voices. Like, they both sound good. And we're going to get up to the more controversial voice here in a second, which I don't have a problem with, but I have seen that some people don't like it. But right now, they're just kind of going through. They're trying to escape. They're trying to get through the gate. It's locked. She says this is where her mom showed her how to get out. And then we hear another voice, and somebody comes waddling from the shadows. And it's revealed.
And it's Ben Bertolucci.
It's Diabetes.
It's Diabetes himself, Chief Irons. Honestly, he seems like really nice at first. He's like, oh, tough girl leaving her house. And then he just out of nowhere pulls his gun on Claire and says, get down on the ground. And this is where you get a really good look at his face. Some people aren't a big fan of his appearance. I actually don't mind his appearance at all. He's got like these really brown, like dark bags under his eyes, so he looks like he's been up for a few days. Probably looks like he's going insane. And his voice is kind of where some people had issues. They say it's like he sounds too young. I don't hear that. I think he sounds fine. And I think
hold on one second. Lost Soul. We're not reading the donations right now because we don't want to like drag this out or get interrupted with each time. But we are gonna read all the
yes,
all the super chats that people are sending into us. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate all your donations, guys, and your support. We're gonna save all of that for the end of the podcast, and we're gonna go into viewer questions and then any of the super chats that we get where you guys have questions, we're gonna answer them at the end. So thank you very much, guys. Just so you guys are aware how this live episode's gonna go. But yeah, so what do you guys think about the look of Chief Irons, the way he acts, and his voice?
Honestly, he looks really good.
Yeah.
Voice-wise, I didn't really think much about it. He just kind of sounds like the typical baddie.
Yeah.
I thought his original voice was a little bit more iconic.
Yeah, I actually, you know what, I have to agree with that. It was like a much more like a radio voice you would hear. And like it was it was more like theatrical in the original. This seems much more real.
Yeah, that I agree with. This one kind of just felt more planned out and not as natural.
Yeah.
But there's not really much to say. I don't want to complain because we only heard 10 seconds?
Yeah. There was only a brief clip, which I've said I really enjoyed. But what did you think, Tony, of seeing Crazy Irons, batshit Crazy Irons?
The guy's got diabetes.
No, we're gonna run that right into the ground. We're gonna hit that so hard. He's got diabetes.
No, okay, so he, even when characters, especially in Resident Evil 2, when they don't get a lot of time on screen, but when they do, they always sold it and it made them memorable. Like, Kendo was one of them, Marvin was one of them, the Chief was one of them, Annette for the few times that she did pop up for once in a while and everything. Every character in 2, despite the short length that they were in, if they weren't like the two main characters and Sherry, they really did a great job at holding their own and making themselves memorable. And the Chief was like the best. And his backstory and everything is completely weird and all that jazz. But
such an interesting character.
Yeah, I mean, like before he looked like an old man, but he looked more like he was in his, like 40s and everything, or even like early 50s. And I mean, like 40s for a police chief, I think is still pretty young. I think most police chiefs are like 50 or higher.
Yeah.
From what I've seen and from various cities that I've been to and police chiefs I've actually met, but I have no problem with it. I think the updated look looks great. I don't think it shits on his original look at all. I actually like the improved aged look, and his voice isn't bad. In fact, I think what we're dealing with here, this is a guy who was shown what the character was, what his background was. So they're gonna pull like the nice like Uncle Brian's type, Uncle Chief Brian's thing and stuff like that, and then the personality for him is going to flip. And when it flips, you're going to have your skin crawl, and I feel that that's what's going here. Now, I kind of feel like that because like of how he looks and the voice, it doesn't match up really. But at the same time, it's not a bad thing that it doesn't match up because, like I said, what could happen down the line, what I suspect might happen.
Yeah.
I think that'll make it all like better. I think when we see that personality change, because you do see that change in 2. In 2, he's kind of like defeated and tired when he talks and everything, but he's still somewhat composed. But then, then when you get into the torture BDSM dungeon, whatever you want to call that, dissection room.
The sex cave.
Secret sex cave. Yeah. No, you see the change in him and everything. Like he goes like he's completely psychotic. And if you read the book City of the Dead, he's even more psychotic. Like his trip to that basement in the passages that they put in the book and everything, when it's the chief by himself, they show his descent into madness.
Oh yeah.
So I think we're in for a real treat when everything just gets when everything finally gets revealed and we get to that part. I think it's gonna be something that's gonna blow our freaking minds. More so than more of like Marvin. I think it might even be better than Marvin's transformation into a zombie.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. Just from this little bit we've seen, like I've said, I thought it was fantastic, and it basically exactly what you explained. We're just gonna see a flip. He's gonna seem like your Uncle Brian, and then all of a sudden he's just gonna go batshit crazy, and you're not gonna know what to say or do because you feel like it's just gonna set him off. He also has this like dead look into his eyes, like in the video here. It just looks like empty, like hollow, like just like a serial killer. I think they nailed it, honestly. And like I said, that's why it's kind of like the highlight of the trailer for me. And you can just kind of see Sherry just like helpless, and Claire just like, what the fuck do I do? As he just shoots right next to her head. I don't know. He's detaining her for some reason. He kind of goes back to grab his handcuffs. Not 100% sure why, but that just leads back to he's crazy and he does what he wants to do. But that pretty much wraps up the demo. Like that's it, and I think we really covered it really well. Like we got into the graphics, the gameplay, the items you use, the environments, the characters. Overall, I thought it was fantastic, and like I said, it was a nice surprise. I wasn't expecting to get that part of the game, but are you guys happy with what we got from Gamescom? There's a little bit more news here we're going to be going through in a second, but let's just give our lasting thoughts on the demo we got. What do you think, guys?
You can take it first.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so far it's like the Leon reveal at E3. It's just like I find nothing wrong with what's happening.
Yeah.
Like there's just nothing wrong. Like everything that they're doing is just right. And like we talked about before the podcast, the people that are involved in this, like when I dug into their backgrounds and looked up who some of them were, it's just like there's really nothing to worry about anymore. All that fears that we've had for years, ever since Capcom changed things in the mid 2000s with Resident Evil 4, the change with that, Resident Evil 5, the cancellation of 4 Mega Man games, Onimusha, Dino Crisis, all these games taking a back seat, all the mistakes made with all the fighting games that have been out, like the disaster of Street Fighter Cross Tekken, the disaster launch of Street Fighter 5. We're dealing with a new Capcom now. Sure, there's still some issues and everything like that here and there, especially, like that $900
I was just going to say, like, the premium edition of Resident Evil 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing of it is, it really just looks like that they know, like they believe. Whoever is running the show now, or maybe the company just lost a lot of money, they're putting faith into this team. And we got to get in touch with the developers and ask how much control that they've actually had.
You need to learn Japanese.
Because... well, yeah, but no, I mean, like we know, I'm sure we can get people, everything to talk about, because like I said, I know somebody and everything like that who works for Capcom USA might be able to tell us like some inside information on that. But
yeah, we gotta get our undercover guys,
our undercover Adas.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Honestly, everything we've seen so far, I have not been disappointed by anything. Some people have said about, Claire's face. They've talked about Mr. X wearing a fedora. They've talked about Chief Irons' new look. Some of them aren't happy with it. Yeah, a few have. You're gonna have your naysayers, which is totally fine. But I think that everything we're getting has been nailed perfectly, and the fact that it's raining outside, during Leon's trek to the police station and stuff, just adds more to the fear of the game, and the fact that I still believe we will get zombie children in this, because of that one image of somebody on the bus and there's a kid in the street, whether that's a zombie or Sherry running to the police station, which I think would be kind of cool. Either way, I don't think there's anything to fear about this game. So far, everything we've seen, I've loved, and I have zero complaints about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good way to sum it up. I mean, I'm pretty blown away by everything we're seeing, and the attention to detail they're putting into this stuff. It's just they're sort of they're just knocking it out of the park, and I can't wait. And they've been dropping information regularly. I've been between you, AJ, you posting to the channel, Ali posting or to the pages, and Tony and me making videos. We're consistently making stuff. They're giving us stuff it's awesome how much we're getting, but I guess it's a really good strategy because it's keeping us hyped all the way up until the release. So we should probably expect to be getting more stuff regularly. What do you think? Your lasting thoughts on the demo, AJ?
Well, people know how critical I usually am when it comes to the newer Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
And here is the shocking part. I enjoyed everything I've seen from Claire's demo. Like,
who are you and what have you done with AJ?
Yeah, I know, right? Like, there was nothing that really left a sour taste in my mouth. Like, the only thing I could really say to them is improve the animations a little bit more.
Okay.
Which I'm sure they're going to do. Is, the game's still in beta. We still have 5 months to go.
I'm actually, from what I heard in a recent article, it's pretty much done now. I think they're like 90% complete. They're just wrapping.
Yeah, they're just putting the finishing touches on it. But it's just like an older build from probably like maybe a couple months ago.
I mean, even if it was the final build, I still think it looks pretty fantastic. Like, I get what you mean that it looks like your character's a little light on the movements and stuff, but I think that's just for like ease of playing, easy to control.
But yeah, my opinion on it, I'm really enjoying where they're going with this. I love the fact that they're bringing more of the 1.5 influence in for Claire versus Leon. I love the fact that we're getting Elsa Walker for her.
That's awesome.
The soundtrack, I really, really want to hear more of the new soundtrack. I know we're getting the original one with the deluxe edition, but I really want to hear more of the new soundtrack. That's the only gripe I have right now is we don't get to hear much of the new music.
Mm-hmm. That's very important to the Resident Evil games, and I would like to hear more.
Yeah, that can make a break too.
Especially Resident Evil 2, because like 2 is regarded as having the best soundtrack out of the entire series.
In my opinion, yeah, definitely.
Like in most, I thought it would be. I thought the actress for Claire would be grating, kind of like how Revelations 2 was at first.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I don't know. Like seeing the trailer, it just pulled me right in, and I was very accepting of the actress this time.
Yeah.
Like, I will always be a fan of Allison Court, but I think this new actress matches her face very well, and I think she has the personality down.
Yeah.
Like, she's not, freaking out, like, kicking people and, fucking driving motorbikes into them and stuff like Leon. But she's human.
Yeah, exactly.
The grenade launcher actually feels like it has weight to it. Like, it, on the original Resident Evil 2, when you would fire around, it would just be like a little explosion, and then it'd be gone. This, it's like a fucking hurricane.
Oh yeah. There's definitely an impact and a destruction when that grenade hits, that shockwave and just the fire. Like I said, those are probably the flame rounds. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how the acid rounds are gonna look, and I'm sure the grenade rounds are gonna look similar to that flashbang. But yeah.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying what we've seen so far from Claire. I was kind of pissed at the fact that they were giving Leon the spotlight again, but it seems like they're actually putting a lot of time and polish into Claire's scenario, so I am happy.
It was I'm super stoked. I was very happy to finally see some stuff for Claire. Like we said before, Leon was getting the spotlight. Now it's nice to see Claire getting the spotlight. There was also an extended intro part to this that wasn't in it, but that was, I believe, IGN posted it. And it was basically like them walking. So after beating William, they're walking back through the sort of basement area up before they get into the parking lot, and they have there's a nice little conversation between Claire and Sherry, where Sherry says that she can't find her parents, and then Claire says that she doesn't have her parents either, it's just her and her brother. And then she says something about like, oh, I'm so sorry, or something like that. She's like, no, that's good, that means we have something in common. And then that's just like, wow, like you really get to see their bond. There's actually more to these characters. They're not just these 2D elements. They have deep backgrounds and deep backstories, and you can see how they kind of bond together, where Claire becomes this mother figure for Sherry as she's trying to find her parents. And it's just like, that little snippet was actually not in this one that was posted. It was elsewhere. So I recommend checking that out, guys, too, after the podcast if you want to. There's not much in that, not much different, just that little extended dialogue is really cool to see.
I should actually add in, I think it's time to start pulling back on what they show, too. They're kind of showing a little bit too much, in my opinion. Like Chief Irons, that should have been in the game. We should have seen him in the game, not a trailer. Birkin, I understand why they showed him, because everybody already knows what he's going to look like anyway.
Yeah.
But some of these characters and enemies need to be kept secret until release.
I kind of get what you're saying, because I feel like, yes, we already know all this stuff's going to be in the game. It came out 20 years ago, but they've changed so much of it. As far as the story goes, and I'm sure the story overall will be similar, but like these interactions happen at different times. I get what you're saying is I kind of want some of this to remain a mystery, so that it's a new experience again for me going back to it 20 years later.
Don't show the crocodile.
Don't show. Yeah, don't. No, there's.
I agree.
And then that kind of leads me into Ada and Hunk and how everybody wants to see Ada and Hunk, and it's like, yeah, I would love to see that, but at the same time, don't you want there to be some surprises, some mystery? You know, like wouldn't you want to figure out what Ada looks like the first time you play as her, or you play?
Everybody complained for like years when it came to getting this remake.
Yeah.
Just wait a little bit longer, guys.
Yeah.
Like they said, it's gonna be very different. Like remake.
Yep.
Location's gonna be different. Layout's gonna be different. Don't spoil too much of it.
No, I completely agree.
It ruins the surprise.
And like I said, that goes back to me saying I didn't think we were going to get to see this chunk of the game. I thought it was going to be early on. But then that also leaves me excited because now I can't wait to see what Claire's new area is going to be like in the Raccoon City streets. I can't wait to see what new stuff's going to happen there. Honestly, at this point, don't even show me any more gameplay. I don't mind if we get like news and like how certain things are going to work out, like gameplay systems like the fortifying system and stuff like that. But
or maybe a trailer that shows off gameplay.
Yeah.
Of like alternate modes that they're talking about or something like that. You know?
That would be cool. But like, I don't really need to see any more gameplay or story elements. Just maybe a couple snippets in a new trailer, and yeah. And I mean, you know me, I'm a huge fan, and every time there's something released, I'm on it and I'm putting a video or we're talking about it, and it's like. Now it's like, okay, let's just take a little break. Let's do some other discussions and just get amped for when it does come out. But yeah, so awesome again. Blew us away again. And just looking forward to what's to come. But then now moving on past the demo, there was some news articles that came out afterwards. The first one being that, now this was, I don't know exactly who this was confirmed by. I don't know if you guys have the name. Oh, it was talked about by Kodoy. And you said he was the director of the Resident Evil 2 remake. He was doing an interview.
That's right.
And I believe it was with, let me check, I could be wrong here, but I believe it was with Eurogamer. But there was a few things they talked about. The first thing being that Sherry was actually based off Newt from Alien 3, the little girl.
Called it.
It makes so much sense. Like, it really does. Like, Ripley, the badass sort of mother figure that's there to protect. And then Newt just kind of, like, you know, has been through some shit. And I'm pretty sure, like, all of the people that she knew were murdered in front of her, and so she's like really like like standoffish. And I mean that totally seems like the sort of dynamic we're gonna get with these characters, and I think that's fantastic. And that they're going deeper and exploring like the actual personalities of these characters, and you know it's not just like a two-dimensional game. There's like I said, weight behind it. And what do you guys think about Sherry being based off Newt from Alien 3?
I'm fine with it. I'm a huge fan of the Alien games, so I thought that was a very good thing. So I don't know, man. Like I just feel that what do you call it there? That it was a good choice to make because like it's not like a ripoff or anything. It's like a homage.
Yeah.
And it's working well for them. That's the thing. Like all the things they're doing, whether it's an original idea or a homage or anything like that, is working out fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, so I think that them doing that adds a little bit more to the character. It's like I said earlier, I think she's still handling the situation better than Ashley did in Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, very true.
But yeah, no, I've got not much to say on that other than the fact that I like what I've seen so far and everything. She seems like a little kid. She's a strong little kid because, you know, if they're going to follow like what happened with her backstory, you know, her parents never had time for her. So it's always been her. So she learned to be strong on her own, you know?
That's very true. And I want to make a correction real quick because Alexander Nigaboin pointed out she was in Aliens. She wasn't in the third one because I don't want to spoil it, but something happens to her in the third one. But the second one is actually the one that they find her at that one place they go to.
It was the second one?
Yeah, it was Aliens. Yeah, they called me out.
I thought she was in the third one because then Resurrection happened and everybody hated Resurrection.
No, yeah, I always thought she was gonna have a bigger role in the third one, but yeah, just watch it if you haven't seen it, and you'll see how big her role is. I was kind of surprised, but yeah, so Aliens that was. But what do you think about that dynamic between the characters, AJ?
I don't really have an opinion because I never watched them.
Oh, okay. Well. You just know that they're going to be focused.
Then why are you here?
Aliens is great. You got to watch them. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out. And if you want to see kind of a dynamic, then check out Aliens, and you can kind of see how she's going to act. But then that moves on to the second part of the article, which goes on to explain about Ada. Ooh, the mysterious Ada that everybody wants to see really bad right now. This was
Except me.
Except you, yep. This was from Kuzunori Kodoi, I probably mispronounced it, but he was the director of Resident Evil 2, from what we read. He says, I think wandering around in that dress, just getting on with your job as a spy probably doesn't look as realistic and believable as we want in the new game. So Ada Wong will look significantly different in the Resident Evil 2 remake. That is interesting because the one thing about her is she's a spy in a red dress. She stands out. She's not really going for practicality because she's trying to blend in, but that red dress kind of like shows, like, I think red's like a color of danger or something, like, I don't know, or it's like a color of what is it a color of, like, not lust, but whatever. She's the love interest for Leon, whatever. She's a mysterious lady who goes around and isn't exactly who she says she is. So whatever she's wearing, it might still be red. I mean, in the trailer, we kind of see what looks to be a trench coat. And then if you go back to the early concept art for Resident Evil 2, she had a trench coat. So I'm assuming that's what she's wearing. Underneath that trench coat now is a different story. It could be nothing, and she could just be one of those people. I'm just kidding. But like, it could be, I guess they don't want to go with the dress. Maybe it's something more tactical. Maybe like a look in Resident Evil 4. I'm not sure. What do you guys think about this? Do you want to see her change?
Honestly, I don't want to see her change because I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Her outfit wasn't that unpractical back in the day.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't see them changing it. She probably is wearing her RE2 outfit underneath that trench coat thing.
Okay, so you think it's going to actually be similar? So you think the director
I
is
do,
just
and
lying?
I think they're gonna. Yeah, I do. I think they're gonna keep some of the original, or it could be an unlockable outfit. They're trying to keep it suspenseful as possible, and it's kind of obvious what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I think they'll significantly change it in a more practical way, but I think it'll still retain the look of the classic. Maybe she won't have like a mini dress or something. But in the trailer, it looked like she had a mini dress under the trench coat. What do you think, Tony?
Pretty much the same thing, really. Like, I think that she does have the red dress because it's not like it's not a not practical one. If you want to talk about like not practical battle wear for the field and stuff, that would be her outfit from Resident Evil 4, where she actually wore the red dress and high heels.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like
she was wearing that on all throughout, like, the village, then all the other areas, like the underground areas and the military area and stuff. She was wearing all that. So,
but it's cool for her because like she's like looks like just like a normal well-dressed lady, and then she also can kick your ass in high heels. Like, that's kind of fits with her character, so I wouldn't want to see that like change too much. I don't want her to come in with like military gear, you know what I mean? Yeah,
like she wore an assignment Ada.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like I said, I think maybe it'll be like a bit more like high fashion or something like that, but I don't think they're gonna change too much of it, really. I don't think it's gonna be too much of a big change, even though they're saying that it is. They probably were just more referring to the fact that like what she's worn in things like Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 6 is obviously normal wear too, so.
True, yeah, that is true. Actually, in Resident Evil 6, didn't she have an outfit very similar to Claire in the Resident Evil 2 remake? A red yeah, it was very
in 6,
similar.
She had the black leather pants, the red button-down dress shirt, and the black gloves. So
it's not the same, but similar to Claire.
Yeah, it's got some similarities.
If history is to repeat itself with so far what we've seen on the Resident Evil 2 remake, I'm sure we're going to be happy with what we get from Ada, and I don't think we need to worry. And I also think that if they want to keep it a mystery, we should let it be a mystery. Somebody pointed out in the chat too, like, when I said that I don't want any more demos, or I'm good now, like, I'm excited. I do want the demo to play though. Like, I would love to get a playable demo for Leon and Claire, and that would literally tie me over. I would just spend hours playing the demo, finding every little detail, doing it every way possible. And like, I know they've released it with 7, and they've released it with Resident Evil 2 back in the day. So I think it would be fantastic if in October we get a demo to tie us over until the release in January. What do you guys think about getting a demo?
Dude, I would be incredibly happy if they give us just like not even 20 minutes for each character.
That would be so good.
I would be so fucking happy.
Ditto.
Yeah. So hopefully we get a demo, but so that kind of, I mean, that about wraps up all the news that's going on now. It was sort of a shorter episode. We're coming in at an hour right now, but there was probably the most to talk about we've had since the release of Resident Evil 2. Or not the release, but the announcement of it at E3. So yeah, I want to know what everybody thinks in the chat. Let us know. We'll go back through and read it. But if you guys, this is going to be question time. So now, if you guys have any questions for us, let us know now, and we will try to get to your questions. AJ, you want to keep an eye on questions.
Yep,
and I'm going to go through and just thank for the super chats we got from La Sola, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. The eye should have been like the OG look, but glowy. And so yeah, I mean, it does look a little different than the original eye. I think it's fine. But it doesn't really have the cat. Actually, I looked at it close, and it does kind of look like a cat eye. I was actually surprised because I didn't think it did. But thank you so much for that super chat. And then we got another super chat. It was donated through the PayPal from Rinaldo Vincent Rodriguez. He donated a $5.50 super chat. Thank you so much for that, man. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much for helping support the channel. Do we got any questions yet?
Yes.
All right.
We got one from AFI Buffy Girl. When the game comes out, who will you play first, Leon or Claire? And that's for everybody.
Actually, you know what? I think they're gonna make you play a certain way in order. Like, I don't think they're gonna let you choose between which one you want to play first. I think.
Oh, I hope that's not the case.
I hope not either. But if it's not the case and you do get to pick, because there won't be like the zapping system, so you'll have one solid story for each character that'll tie in, but you won't be able to flip those scenarios, which is fine as long as they're the game's longer and they put more detail into it. But I'll probably be playing as Claire first.
Yep, I'm going with Claire.
Yeah, the old canon way.
I might go Leon just because everybody else is doing Claire, and obviously all four of us are going to be streaming that night that it comes out.
Yeah, yeah, we will.
So,
oh yeah,
it'll be a big party.
So I think it'll be interesting for everybody to see like who the ROE picks and everything like that, and
yeah.
Because I like Claire more than Leon, but since everybody's already going to be doing that, I might as well just do Leon's and stuff,
Just do something different. Yeah, I would say that's probably a good idea. Because if I'm doing Claire on the YouTube channel, you're going to be doing one. Yeah, try Leon so that people get to see both sides. They'll probably have my stream. They'll probably have all four of our streams going in every corner of the computer. That would be great. You just got like the whole ROE team talking over each other about all random shit. Oh, that was a good one. Thank you for the question.
Danielle asked, what is your favorite Resident Evil character?
Oh, mine's definitely Leon. Has been. Resident Evil 2 is my favorite game of all time, and when I was a kid, I looked up to him. We both had blonde hair, and I remember I styled my hair like his. It was back in like 4th or 5th grade, and ever since then, I really like Chris. I like Wesker. I like a lot of characters, but that's my favorite is Leon. What about you guys?
I would have to go with Claire. She's always been my favorite because she's always been the most human.
Yeah.
Tony?
That's a good choice.
I would have to say it's a tie between both Jill and Wesker because I played a crap ton of Jill when the original game came out, and Resident Evil 3 is my favorite Resident Evil game of all time, and she was great in that. I love the fact that they put her in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 back in the day. She was great, and then Wesker is just a fun character in everything he's in. Playing as him in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 as well, like he's just such a freaking fun character. He's just so evil. He's behind the scenes type guy.
Yeah,
I love him. He's like that's in there by 2. Plus, Jill was also in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is the reason why I bought Marvel vs. Capcom 2 back in the day on the Dreamcast was because of that.
And that's when you fell in love with arcade fighters.
No, that was way before that. I was playing Street Fighter 2 upon its release.
Oh, okay, but it was cool to have characters that you love from a different series, and yeah, that's cool. Well, those are 2 good ones.
Okay, so K-Town Entertainment says, is there any co-op modes or only a solo campaign? Co-op has not been confirmed for anything for the campaign.
Yeah.
It is single player like the original. We don't know about extra modes yet.
I'm pretty sure they said it's going to remain a single player experience. There might be some weird wording in there where it could be co-op for multiplayer modes, or for bonus modes, but I think it's going to be single player. I just want to give a huge shout out to Randomly Entertaining right now. He gave us a $10 super chat. Holy shit, dude, thank you so much. He said, finally back to being up at night, able to watch all ROE streams as they'll occur, and hearing my boy JJ's voice live again. Also playing Resident Evil 4 for the first time in 2 years. It's been rough, to say the least. Thank you so much for that super chat, Randomly Entertaining. That helps out a ton, man. We really appreciate that. And Resident Evil 4 for the first time in 2 years, guys. What do you think about that?
I am so sorry.
AJ has expressed many times he does not like Resident Evil 4. I on the other hand, I didn't play it since GameCube. I played it like maybe once or twice since it came out on GameCube, maybe for like an hour. But just last Christmas, I went through and played it again for the first time in forever, and I actually was blown away. Like, I see still why I wasn't a big fan of it as a kid and how it does. I'm not really a big fan of the direction they went, but that game was so much fun, and I really enjoyed it, and I liked it way more than I did back then. So hopefully you enjoy it. Sorry it's been rough. Are you playing on hard or something? Okay. Any other questions? We'll get to another couple.
Oh, there are tons.
Give us two more, and then we'll wrap up.
Okay, so let me look. Worst part of the RE2 demo?
Oh, if you had to pick, what is your that's a good question, because we've been so positive about it with minor complaints. If you had to say between Leon and Claire, what's your least favorite thing about it, what would it be?
I don't think there's anything. I mean, I haven't gotten it. Well, none of us have gotten a hands-on experience about it yet.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
you have to pick, though, Tony.
Oh God, I don't know. I've literally been like so.
Nothing that rubbed you the wrong way.
It's kind of like what I've seen from Devil May Cry 5. Nothing is rubbing me the wrong way. It's two games that we've both that everybody has been dying for years and everything, and they came back strong, and they're doing things the right way to where I just don't see anything that's disappointed me so far.
What about you, AJ? What do you think is disappointing from what you've seen?
The only thing that disappointed me so far is some of the animations, which makes no sense because Capcom, you've only done one major first-person Resident Evil game. You can't get that lazy at this point. You know how to make animations.
Yeah.
Like the hair. I know it's like a little thing.
Yeah.
But if you look at Tomb Raider and how they optimize that actually looks really cool in game, like with the Tress effects or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Whereas with Resident Evil 2 Claire, it looks like she has a freaking towel on her head, like the way it moves.
Yeah.
And most people chalk that up as just complaining for complaining. But my thing is, if we're playing over the shoulder, we're constantly going to be getting like an up-close shot of their backs constantly. So we're constantly going to be looking at that hair animation.
Yeah. I mean, it's a minor complaint, but we were asked what if we had to complain, what we'd be complaining about. And
the other thing I would complain about is the lighting sometimes. At certain points in the game, I don't know if this is just an RE Engine thing.
Yeah.
But to me, it looks like most of the game is washed out. Like there's no contrast.
Like 7 had that bad on PC.
It mostly happens when, it's more up close with the characters or they're in certain environments. But this happened in RE7 as well.
Yeah, it did. Hopefully that's not an issue, and hopefully it won't. Like, I don't know what it was, but when I had it on PS4, it looked phenomenal. And then I got it on PC, and I was like, oh, it's gonna look so much better. And then I played it, and it was like gray, like the blacks were gray, and I was like, what?
I actually had the same issue that you were having when you were doing the live stream with it.
Yeah.
The lighting on my PS4 version, it was never a middle ground when it came to the gamut. It was either too dark, or it was too bright. You can never get that middle ground for it.
It was weird. Yeah, that was what it was on PC for me. But yeah, I mean, I really have no complaints other than, like I said, with the obvious glowing eye and that little boss battle there. I don't mind, but I just hope that there's some clever boss battles in there. Like they shake it up in a way where, maybe when he gets into one of his higher forms, there'll be a different way of defeating him, and it won't be just shooting the eye, and it'll be more of a challenge. And if they do add in different, if it's not just this sort of like the same basic just shoot the glowing thing, then I'll be happy. But that's my only minor complaint. Other than that, I think everything was fantastic and I'm happy.
Well, I have to bring it up because chat actually just reminded me.
Okay.
The button context pop-ups, they need to go.
Oh yeah, I think they'll probably have a way them off. Yeah, I think they'll have a way to turn those
off. Either way, I'm putting it out there, Capcom, stop holding us by the hand. We don't want the button prompts up. They freaking kill the immersion.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good for people that are new to the game and they just want to, pick it up and get into it. But for fans that are of the original, we don't want it to. We want a challenge. We don't want them to hold our hand. But I'm sure that they'll take that into consideration. And if they're adding that hard mode that gives you the limited saves, then I'm sure they'll let you turn the prompts off as well. I'm just
saying, Capcom, make sure you put those things in there because I don't want to be held by the hand, and neither does anybody else from 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I do.
That's a nice breeze experience. Kendall Gunshop, thank you so much, man. He just donated a $10 super chat. Thank you, man. We really appreciate that. He said, thanks for the podcast. I loved it. Chief Diabetes is going to make us eat sugar till we die. That's a good way to
Everyone's
wrap
gonna
up.
die.
Everyone's got diabetes. All right, that was really good.
Calling you out, JJ.
What's that? He's calling me.
DJ hates Resident Evil 2. Don't believe his lies from Rick.
Oh, Rick the Gaijin. How's it going, Rick? That's my buddy Rick. Don't know how much I'm supposed to say about Rick, but yeah, he's my buddy. Thanks, man. He just exposed me on the podcast. But yeah, I want to thank everybody so much for stopping in and listening. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and definitely subscribe for more podcasts in the futures. Leaving a like just lets us know you guys enjoy these live podcasts, and we'll definitely keep going live if this is what you guys like to see. I'm going to go through now, and I'm going to this channel is basically supported by our patrons and our YouTube members. So right now I want to go through the list and just read off everybody's names and give you guys a thank you for all your support, because we really appreciate it. So we're going to go to our Patreon first, starting with our sword key holders. And if you are new to the channel, and we do have a Patreon to help support the channel and all the things we do, like the game and the mods we work on and the videos, and you get some things in return. So you can check it out at patreon.com/ROE Network. The link's down in the description. Starting with our sword key holders, we got, I'm probably going to butcher your guys' names too, I'm sorry. Warrior, Arturo Rosales, Jeff Marcotte, Chris Anselmo, Nisa Hill, Sarah Baxter, Ernesto Malave, Lexian, Benjamin J. Harkins, Wake Kami, Vil Kiss, Charlie Robinson, Robert Crawford, Pedro L. Lueno, Kalian Fox, Amy Adams, Robbie, Potatoes and Lead, Nathan Grove, Miki, Peter Pickler, Michael McLowen. Moving on now to our armor key holders, we have Muriel, the original fat ass, J.C. Wesker, Dimitri Powell, Mike Wood, Robert Kotowski, Marcus Dos Diaz, Random Task 237, Trent Gordon, Tyler Seth Parsley, Glenn Page, Kalian Zielinski, Lance Christopher, Lerwin, Yazjan 3XZ, Brian Salazar, Connor Jordan, Bryce Ray Parker, Corey Scott, Scott Manville. Moving on now to our shield key holders, we have Kongman Yang, BIYH Productions, Zombie Girl 880, Digisi Gangan, Scott Yanos, Brad Benson, Sean Gillen, Scott Pogomiller, Riley Claypool, Vincent Maher, Gary Sterotuk, I screwed that one up bad, sorry about that, Edward Galoti, Shane Wollwine, RJ Mitchell, Charlie April, and then now on to our helmet key holders, those are our key collectors. Ahmed Ekatib, Andrew Asjes, Bailey Ritter, Leon2394, Thomas Bagari, Latriel Havens, Kuhn Cannon, Ryan Say, Stuart Barclay, Nate Nelson, Luke Davis, John Klein, Resident Elect, Liam Davis, James Kelly, Michael Cake, and Steve Jacobson. And now to our Master of Unlocking members. These members are the one that this podcast is brought to you by these guys, the top level Patreon members we have. Lex, Mike Frassetti, Santiago Alcantara, Dustin Lewis, Kendall Gunshot, Proxy One, Trent Overton. Oh, that was a lot of names, you guys. That's incredible. Thank you so much. Now we're going to move on to our YouTube members, which before was sponsors, but they just changed the name to members. Randomly Entertaining, K-92, Mason Olk, Brad Vickers, Tenchi, Chris Lambert, The Ravenkist, Stuart Piercy, Umbrella Corporation, Kanji08, Nate Whistleink, Rage Harris, Drapery Falls, Hatsumiku01, Jeff Marcotte, Hated Some Days to Die, OGRE Freak, Brett Schwetzer, Santiago Alcantara, Kaiser Rin, Lerwin, Proxy One Music, and Kendall Gun Shop. Wow, that was a mouthful. Thank you guys all so much for all your support for the channel. Again, thank you for listening. To our mods in the chat right now, thank you guys for all your work. That's going to be it for us. Definitely stay tuned next week. We are going to have... what do we have coming out next week? I can't remember. We're working on a game right now called Vigil Prophecy of the Bestowed. It is a survival horror game developed by Moonglint. It's currently the ROE Team and Unicomics working on it, along with Bob Spaghetti. And then next week, we are possibly going to be doing a live stream of Unicomics drawing out a page of a ROE comic that's coming out. So the ROE comic is actually going to be a prequel to Vigil, and it's going to give you some backstory. So he's thinking about doing a live stream on the channel for that, so look forward to that. We're also working on a mod for Resident Evil 1, and we have some videos coming out. We have an interview with the creators of Resident Evil Siren Song, which is a fan film that will be released soon, so that interview will be coming out soon. And I think that's about all. We've got Tony's event next month, so you can see some pretty good streams all month round for that. And that's going to be it. Do you guys want to add anything else before we wrap up?
Yep, if you guys want to see more streams from us, you could actually go over to our Twitch page, which is twitch.tv/ROE Network. It's not everyday streams, but we try to do at least 3 or 4 a week. It's more content than we usually put up on YouTube due to how it works. But you guys could hop over there and check it out if you want. I'll post a link in the description.
Yes, do that. Very cool. That's a good one that you remember that. Also, you can follow us in the Discord where you can chat with us instantly, when we have time. But Discord's open to the public. We have a lot of cool rooms showing off tons of Resident Evil fans, showing off the Resident Evil collections, art galleries, having discussions, spoiler talk. The Discord, like I said, is open to the public. We'll get a link down to that in the chat as well, so you guys can join us there. Definitely come talk to us through Discord, and that way you can, if we're not busy, you could talk with us actually and ask us questions and stuff like that. And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at ROE Network, and also Instagram. And that'll be it, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to see you back at the Residence of Evil. All right, bye, everybody.
Take care.